Yo, 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 guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Marijuana SA Weekly. And today we have some really cool news. We got some word last night of possible legalization of not just like the private use, but talks of a commercial bill being allowed into the market. And the general understanding of it is that, okay, so it's a bill, so it doesn't mean that it's going to be, it's actually a draft of a bill, so it's like amendments to the previous. It's not drafted yet as far as I know, and it doesn't really mean much. But anyway, the point of it is that they mentioned that this could be the opening of a legal market or a step in the right direction of a legal market. And I think the timing for South Africa couldn't be better. What do you think, Dean?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're sitting here today. As you can see, I'm not in my normal spot. I'm actually at Sensiba Cafe in Cape Town. The transformer in my area blew, so I'm not going to have power for 48 hours. So coming to you live from the office at Sensiba. And I really think that our country's in dire straits at the moment. I mean, we had like 15 hours of roller blackouts yesterday for the week. And there hasn't really been much movement on cannabis at all. And everyone who's in the industry knows how much of a sort of job creation and money-making tool this could be for our country. So I think that to finally see some movement, I mean, Cyril speaking about it at Sona, and now to see even more movement related to it is positive, and it needs to happen ASAP. Needs to happen ASAP to really get, I think that it's cool to see traction. How fast will come, we have to wait and see.
And that's the thing. It's like, sorry guys in advance, this might be a bit of a ranty episode, but it's like, it really is a matter of just taking off their hand from the handbrake and just like letting it down. It's not like they have to spend money. It's not like they have to invest anything. It's not like they have to spend thousands and thousands and millions more on their like internal legal people to like figure out these like intricate laws and legislations. Put the basic amount of regulation in that you need, like over 18, under 18, like the very simple, as easy as possible to understand so that everyone can understand it, and then just go for it and like let loose. Like it's if problems arise, figure them out. It's sort of like like how we do things, on a day-to-day basis. We don't faff around, we just do it, and then we figure out how to do it better.
Do it to the best of your abilities, and then like just get it working, and then like improve on it once it's running. But it's just like, don't hold off from getting it running. I mean, adults want to bake. Not everyone can grow. Like not everyone, like we're privileged to have like the private purposes, where you can cultivate in private. But everyone wants adult use. That's like where the money's really at. The rec market or the adult use market is where the main gold rush is going to happen. So like if the government wants to make money, like it makes, like if you just look at like some of the legal states, like Colorado on like its first day of legal sales, they brought in like billion dollars, So
exactly.
Like we want to pull in multi-million rand. All you got to do is just open up the floodgates. I mean, there's, I think it would be so fast and so quick. Once the government says like thumbs up, so much money would pour in, overseas investment, and like everyone overseas waiting for stability of regulation. So if we can have any kind of regulation with related to adult use, we're going to see like a coffee shop on every corner, I'd say.
and I think the inter-African side of it will our expertise will start growing exponentially and feeding into the rest of Africa. And like I think entrepreneurs from the whole of Africa will be coming to South Africa to start up cannabis businesses or learn cannabis in that space. And then also like speaking of the gold rush, I mean, not just on like sale of cannabis, but the whole, like you always often mention it, but the tourism side of things would be ridiculous for cannabis.
People would come from, or everyone wants to come to South Africa. And now they're like I always reference back to my time in the wine industry. Like people would literally come here to tour the wine farms. Like that was their goal, coming to the country. Okay. Now, if you're a cannabis enthusiast and you're choosing a country to go on holiday, And South Africa's adult rec. You can go to the beach. You can go in Cape Town. You can go see the fucking Kruger National Park, you know, and then you can buy weed legally. Of course, you're going to come here. Like, you're going to want to tour. And I mean, then also the amount, the ability for people to cultivate will probably change, you know. It probably will be, I'm hoping to see less complication with relation to bringing product to market. If it tests, if it's grown and it tests under the correct parameters, that should be able to go to market.
I would even say one step further. Like, if, I mean, like, I don't know, like if you can go and buy craft beer from a brewery, and it's like, you're not gonna ask the brewer, like, oh, you know, where's your, you know, what water did you use, what yeast did you use, where, you know, were your hops sprayed with pesticides? It's like, you kind of just like, if it's shit and it makes you feel sick, and you know, if you ever hear a story of someone dying from drinking a beer at that pub or brewery, you're just like, no one will ever go there again, and like their business will close down. Like, the economics of it is like, it's so I don't know. I've been like thinking about it a lot lately. It's like, I'm so freaking annoyed with the things that you can buy at the shops. For instance, like, I was watching this YouTube video, right? And this lady drank a jar of pickle juice, like a 5-liter jar, and she like ate the whole thing of pickles. She fucking died. Like, well, she near died. She had like a brain swelled, and like they had to like do like brain surgery on her from eating a jar of like pickles, dude. Like, the salt, they couldn't get the salt out of her bloodstream. It was insane.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm
if someone
like,
can kill themselves with pickle, why can't we consume cannabis? It's not going to kill me, bro.
It's like, there's so many.
Like, I found in my bed, maybe, and like, that's my pillow. Like,
it's like, what are they trying to prevent? There's so many. You can go and buy Panados, ibuprofen or ibuprofen or whatever. You can go buy cough syrups. I could go to Pick and Pay and find 110 things that'll kill me that day, you know, and like cannabis won't.
You can detergent if you want.
You can go buy chlorine. And it's like, whenever you buy chlorine at the pool section, it's like right where your kids would be, you know, it's like knee height, so you don't have to pick it up far. But it's just like your kids could like.
My dad was like, go buy it, and I went and bought the chlorine for the pool. And I could have been building like bombs.
Chlorine bombs and stuff. There you go. Yeah, well done. We mentioned bombs, and now YouTube's gonna come and like scrape this video out of existence. But yeah, like that's the annoying thing. It's like, I'm so fed up of like. And on the other hand, now all of those things are legal. So is alcohol. You can go and like literally go right now and kill yourself on alcohol. You know, wouldn't be that hard. You know, either you do it and you're intoxicated and you're driving, or you just drink too much. And like, if you drink too much, your brain fails, your organs fail. You have to get your stomach pumped.
Yeah, you can also go buy case. I could go now and spend like $5,000 on booze, fill my whole boot of my car up with it, drive it through a roadblock and be like, no, officer, I'm just taking this home. He'll be like, okay, cheers, bro. You'll go home. And then I could proceed to drink it all and die. And like, that would be seen as legal. But like, you can't like go and just buy a gram of smoke it, you know? Like, it makes no sense.
It's so ridiculous.
I hope with this like sudden change in the government, I hope that they're doing their research, and it kind of seems like maybe it's kind of got through to people on the higher end that maybe it's not as bad as perceived. And I know there's a lot of education and a lot of vocal people, a lot of good people in the space. But if the simplicity is coming through to government, hopefully we'll see some decent regulation coming through. I mean, I never thought we'd be hearing the words sort of, adult usage from the government so soon. And it seems like something is being whispered about. Maybe when they finally sign that bill in, it's going to be a completely different bill to what everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, I'm thinking they're going to open up the floodgates this year, I think, at the looks of it.
I would say they're too slow, bro. End of next year, like they'll wait they'll need like a whole year to debate. Then they'll need another whole year just to like get it through. I've always said it 2 to 5. Now I'm thinking it's closer to the 2 and further from the 5.
Much, yeah. That I would gamble on. Maybe I would say 12 months, because nothing happens over Christmas, and it's like for government, it's basically Christmas already.
Next March, and he's saying, and I'll say next October.
Yeah, by then. And I think by before then, I mean, they might come in, they might do it phases. I think it'll be difficult before they get the whole like free for all sort of market, like buying and selling like Snickers or like some sort of snack or whatever. But even that, like, if you want to go buy like a Mars bar or like a Kit Kat, there's fucking sugar tax. It's all worked out, but they didn't the first day they sold Mars bars have to figure all that shit out. You can't figure it out in one day. You don't know.
No,
You can't make rules for problems that don't exist. And they like making rules like, oh, what if someone goes and buys it and then like leaves it lying around, and then a kid gets hold of it and he gives it to his other friend, and now it's like the chain of custody is broken, so you have to have a rule for this and trackers in your bud. It's like, fuck, like, just
Apple tags with every purchase.
it's just like, stop making rules for like, what types of cars they can and what speed you can be driving if you're intoxicated, and like the blood level, how we're gonna taste. Just take away all the rules, just make it easy. Like, you just go for it. It makes economic sense.
They need to draft something, and then they need to have like a committee working on it, working with stakeholders in the industry, and then they need to mold it over time. But they need to just do something to get it moving, because until they put something in place and get movement, they're not going to be able to amend, because they're not going to know what to amend. I mean, if we look at like recently we opened a click and collect at the office, and like we anticipated certain issues with the click and collect. And what actually became the issue was something we didn't foresee in the first place, So unless we'd done it, we wouldn't have foreseen this issue. And it's the same as like this legalization. Unless they do it, they're not going to see the issues. Like what they're thinking is going to be issues is probably not going to be the issues. There's probably going to be other issues, like collecting tax or getting banks to accept payments for cannabis, or changing the way that like service providers flag cannabis businesses. It's going to be completely different stuff to what they think is going to be an issue,
Yeah, fake weed, things like spice and things like that, but which they should be cracking down on, and like crack down on all these other like dirty chemical drugs that are floating around, as opposed to anyway, we could rant on forever, guys, but what you can do today is like and subscribe so that you're always up to date with info. I am going to try, I'm going to suss out whether it's worth doing a detailed dive with either Myrtle or SJF attorneys, see if we can get like a proper look at the bill, if there is some body to it, but I believe it's a draft amendment. I don't know. It's a bit of I don't know. Yeah. It was like I got most of this info from like a webinar of the government, like everyone talking about like, oh, where did you get the facts on that matter? And it's like these like people in Parliament sitting in Zoom. Anyway, so you guys can like and subscribe. Thanks for the support for the Grow Saw over the last few weeks. It's been really, really good, really, really positive. Lots of YouTube comments lately, and yes, really, I think the algorithm's been favoring us since the 10K. If you're listening, if you want to listen to us, we're also on podcasts, on Spotify. We're on like Podcast Addict, all the like the podcast apps, and Instagram. And look forward to checking you guys next week. Peace.
Peace, guys.